Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Developer Hangout for
I'm not doing it.
August 22nd,
That's what the
2018.
what the TV says. It must be true.
Yep. I'm Will Hungerford, developer at Privateer Press. This is Oz Schoonover, development manager at Privateer Press. And holy hell, we got him away from the Babu for long enough to come sit with us. This is the first time I've seen him in weeks.
What's that?
Will Pagani, developer at Privateer Press.
And he hasn't been sleeping, so if something strange happens, it's all Pagani's fault.
Yes. We are.
It's true.
We're all developers, and that's why we're on Developer Hangout. It makes sense. But if you're not sure what you're watching, I'm going to go through an intro real fast and let you know what's up. So we're at Privateer Press. We stream 3 times a week, always at 10 a.m. Pacific, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesdays is Weekly Rumble, where we get together and we play games. We're playing a lot of Monster Apocalypse lately.
Yeah, our plan is to basically play Monpoc as much as we can up until the launch at least, and then probably rotate around and bring Monster Apocalypse back, and then play some more Machine and other stuff.
We might be playing some Extreme Colossal Wrestling in the near future.
We might also do that soon.
Because there may be some cool new stuff coming out for it soon. Wednesdays is what you're watching now. It's the Developer Hangout. This is where we on the development team come and talk to you about upcoming things going on with the games. Often CID talk, like what today will be. But it could be any number of things. We've had entire math episodes. We've talked about, we'll talk about strategy about Monster Apocalypse in the future whenever there's more things available. So all kinds of things.
And we bring in guests and talk to writers
guests,
and stuff.
And then sometimes we're all out of town on vacation or having children, so the writers show up and just talk about lore. You never know.
Yeah.
Thursday is Get Your Paint On with Dallas Kemp. That is where Dallas goes over cool like hobby tips and tricks, shows you how to paint, shows you new like paints we have in the line, and just does cool things with the hobby.
Can I just say that last week I was really hoping that this stream was going to be Oz alone, sitting in this chair, just saying hello to people in chat, nothing else.
It almost
for an
was just me talking to chat for half an hour, but then I said, wait, the writers are both in the building.
But I mean like no content. I just want you to be like,
no, that was
hello,
that was
Alyssa Smith 27.
like
hello, Legionnaire. Hello, Manath John.
There was a day last week, because it was the
That's what I was
after
hoping it
Gen
would
Con
be.
vacation glut. There was a day last week where me and Mike Ryan were the only 2 upstairs employees of all like the regular 15 people that kind of work upstairs. There was nobody else. But Wednesday last week, Matt Getz's baby had not shown up yet, and Doug was in the building available. So I just handed off the stream and was like, cool.
Enjoy.
So to people saying that I'm back, I am definitely not back.
not back.
No, this is a cameo, but it's a great cameo.
Yeah, visiting.
I was
for a
close by
moment.
and the stream was happening, so I decided not to.
So talking about chat, if you're watching this, we do stream live at twitch.tv/privateerpress. If you're watching this later on YouTube at youtube.com/privateerpressprime, we have the chat open. People are talking to us. So if you see us kind of look off to the side, especially Oz has really good reading chat face.
Yeah.
We'll say a username, say the question they may have and respond. Because we're going to be talking about something I think a lot of people are going to be interested about today. However, before we dive into cool CID news for everyone, I want to talk about something else really cool, and that is a couple models that are available I want to make sure everybody knows about. First off is the Supreme Guardian. His card just went up yesterday in the card database and on War Room, so people can see what the final rules are. He is available for pre-order right now through Black Anchor. You can go to store.privateerpress.com and pre-order your Supreme Guardian right now. So if you want what might be possibly one of the tallest models we've ever made. It's up there with like the Shrine and the Throne, right?
So good looking.
I think the throne might be like a smidge taller, but it's bigger than other things.
Yeah.
And he's
He
like
knocked the lady off the top of the throne.
he's like this big.
Now,
He's real big.
real fast, everyone, we got a lot of questions yesterday if the rest of the things that were tested in the Supreme Guardian CID would be uploaded with that. We'll get to that in a second and tell you how that's going to happen. For right now, it's just the card is available and the pre-orders are up. The other cool thing we just announced was the new mini crate models.
Yeah.
So the new mini crate cycle just started. If you go to mini-crate.com, you can subscribe. This month's model is the Little Red Riding Hood, Grimkin model. However, the new VIP model is also available. So if you subscribe by September 19th of next month, you get Lady Rose Riding Hood. But if you do the 6-month subscription, you also get the VIP model, which is one of the dopest things I think we've ever made for Mini Crate, which is the new, the Alt Alexia. And I think John's going to pull her up on the screen right now. This model is just absurd.
I think it's like my favorite mini crate model that's ever been.
And it's inspired by one of the old Witchfire Trilogy covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the compilation cover.
Yeah.
No, the compilation cover was all the zombies like around her.
Really?
head.
It's the compilation of book 1.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that sculpt and whoever, I'm not sure who did the paint job on this one,
I haven't heard.
But
They nailed it.
it's phenomenal.
I think
So,
this one was Brendan Roy.
Yeah. So anyway, mini-crate.com. Sign up now. You got Lady Rose for this month, and then the VIP. If you do the 6-month subscription, you get the Alexia Handmaid of Death, which is a replacement for your Alexia 1, obviously. 'cause
Or
she's
your
not on-
IKRPG figure.
Or your IKRPG figure. But if you're gonna play War Machine, you know, Alexia 1, she's on a horse, so it can't be Alexia 2.
Your IKRPG figure has the Witchfire. Something has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
In your campaign.
You're done.
Just for the record.
You're done screwed
Maybe
up.
you don't realize. Maybe you just think it's a magical sword.
This weird black sword. Very strange.
Yep.
It whispers to you sometimes.
And Doug Hamilton points out Dave Kidd was the sculptor for Alexia.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
So
Well done, Dave Kidd.
before we get into what are on these papers in front of us, let's go through some quick CID news. I wish we had like a news like.
We have the ticker.
But I mean like the like you
But
know.
yeah.
So CID news next week, next Wednesday, the Tharn CID is planned to start.
I won't be here.
I very carefully
might
use the
be
word
here.
I might be.
planned to start.
Yeah.
That's very much our intent, but
Yes, we have set aside Wednesday as the start date, but you know, things happen.
Things happen.
The sky is burning right now, so who knows
Yeah.
what could be happening by next
Seattle
week.
looks like Silent Hill at the moment.
Uh-huh.
Because everything's on fire.
But yeah, for everybody that's been asking in this chat and the chat for like the last 6 months, Tharn CID starts on the 29th, which is next Wednesday.
So second bit of CID news before we get into this is that a lot of people have been asking about WTC, and we talked about the Supreme Guardian, and if the rest of the Supreme Guardian CID changes would be made live, that dynamic update. What about the Retribution dynamic update? So that all of you know, no dynamic updates are going to occur until after the WTC is done mid-September. So there will be no further changes made to any models or anything we've tested until after WTC is over. We don't want to screw up that event, basically.
Yeah, with list locks and other things going on, if we put out stuff, it would change people's plans and what they're bringing in.
Yeah, I think
all that
list
kind of
locks
stuff.
have already occurred.
Yeah,
so
it was
like,
Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Monday. So list locks are done. So if we list lock happens and then we change things, it's just we don't want to do
Yeah,
it.
it makes things complicated. So we are just going to wait, and we're going to do it in mid-September.
Now, before we let Pagani off the leash with exciting news for everyone, what we're talking about today is we're going to talk to you about the Tharn CID. So we're going to be listening to your questions and talking to all of you. Next week's developer chat will be a much more in-depth dev chat about everything because you'll have the full Tharn rules. But we're going to go over some spoilers right in front of us. This is the Tharn CID.
Yep.
And
The errata doc.
Yeah, we're going to go through some of the things we find particularly interesting, things that people don't know about, talk to you about them, and let you know to get you all excited.
And for those of you that did come to Lock and Load or saw the spoilers from Lock and Load, we're going to talk about specifically things that changed after Lock and Load.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's going to be new stuff.
So yeah, I printed out the entire thing for a reference, but we're not going to talk about the entire thing right now because
A
some
lot
of
of
it
this is just what happened at Lock.
some of it has already been talked about at Lock and Load, but some of it hasn't.
Yes. Yes. Don't look at me like that.
So,
I'm going to try and feed you a bottle or something.
Pagani, before we jump straight in,
Sure.
one very important question. How's the baby?
Baby's doing well.
Good.
Baby's doing well.
Yeah.
Last night was a little rough.
Yeah.
It
You
was
were
funny.
operating on a very low amount of sleep right now, it seems
Yeah,
like.
Shik was like, hey man, can you come in for a little bit tomorrow? Yesterday. I guess it was yesterday. It all blurs together.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Baby's been sleeping great. And then baby didn't sleep so great last night. It was okay. It was fine.
So Baby Gani like subscribes to marketing rule 1.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, everyone talks about sleeping with babies, and they're like, oh, I still get like 6 or 7 hours of sleep in like 30-minute increments. It's horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, that's how they.
yeah, he's
that-
healthy. Mama's healthy. Everybody's good to go.
That's how they get people to talk in, like, you know, bad guy movies. Is they're like, we let
Oh,
you
yeah.
sleep for 15
Yes.
minutes and then
Yeah.
we wake you up. And we do that all
It's
day long. And
literally
eventually
torture.
You're like, I will tell you anything you want to know.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
I think we've stalled long enough.
Sure.
So we're just going to skip the first 2 pages. Don't worry about those.
We were
You'll
stalling?
you'll see them next week.
I mean, there's some stuff, right? Like, there's the Morvanas we talked about, Pronos, Getter, Snarlhorn, Pureblood, Retorn. A lot of things gain Pathfinder, great.
You know that a lot of people didn't go to Lock and Load, right?
Well, but
Well,
there
now
are
they
people.
can now they can speculate.
There are people posting those.
Yeah,
kind of
a lot
things
of it
on
got
Facebook
posted,
and
so-
stuff.
But did they know what gained deceptively immobile? It was not shifting stones.
It was the bird thing.
The bird thing.
Anyway, let's
Yeah.
get to what we actually wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
let's get to the things we marked.
You
to talk
distracted
about.
a sleep-deprived Pagani, and now he's going to go look at the bird thing.
The Storm
I don't
Raptor?
even know where it is.
The bird thing?
Where
I don't
Storm
know.
Raptor, bruh.
I don't know if it's that alphabetical order.
Yeah. The Storm Raptor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the big things that happened post lock and load is we still weren't quite happy with where a lot of the male Tharn were hanging out.
Yep.
So they all picked up rapid healing, which is kind of what we did with Chosen to kind of make them a little more survivable. And we really liked its interaction with Tough and stuff. And it really stops a lot of these like POW-10s from just kind of chewing through the units, which was one of the issues that this unit had, was like POW-10s and 12s, even unboosted, could really, really pick off a lot of these Tharn that are running forward. So this rapid healing is not going to help them out against anything of reasonable power, but all of these small arms fire, these little POW-10s, POW-9 charges, that kind of stuff.
Because at arm 15, right? You're probably doing maybe like 1 or 2 points of damage on average unless it's boosted, and then like they're going to heal most of that back. So yeah.
So that does let them survive a little bit better against a lot of these low power shooting lists that prey on them. So so that's pretty sweet.
And it's a cool narrative thing about their tie into Devour Worm changes their physiology and makes them a lot more. More.
So
yeah, and that was basically all the male Tharn, I think. So it's gonna be like Blood Pack and Ravagers, and then a lot of the solos. I think the Shaman didn't pick it up, but I'm not sure.
Sure. Another really cool thing that I think a lot of people. One thing we did when we started talking about this was figuring out what either the Tharn units did.
Yeah.
And the two things we want to talk about today are going to be two major unit changes because we wanted everything to make sure it had its own unique role. When you were building a Tharn army, you had these tools at your disposal, so you could really be like, well, I really need a skirmishing unit, I need a frontline unit, I need a fast harassing unit.
So before you go too far, there's an entire insider that I wrote that's coming out for that.
I know.
Cheers.
So
Yeah.
Pagani's going to go into depth about all that, but
Yes.
the two units we're going to talk about today really emphasize this. I'll talk about the blood trackers real fast because I think the blood trackers are super cool. So the blood trackers are definitely like the premier sort of skirmishing, get stuck in but still move through the enemy and can keep pushing through enemy lines to get to the softer targets. They're really hard to pin down, and you can just they're a nightmare for your opponent. They hit the front line. They're pretty difficult to kill. I mean, because it's the high def, not their armor by any means. And then they can just get through, get to that support piece of the back, maybe even go after a caster assassination. Sure. So blood trackers now cost $9.15, and they picked up parry. So parry's going to be huge on them, especially when combined with Nuala. So new Nuala loses granted Swift Hunter and just picks up straight up granted reposition 3.
Which is a return to Mark II stuff.
Yeah, which is absolutely.
Yeah.
And she has a new mini feat, which is Hunter's Reckoning, which allows you to switch your prey target once per game without having to kill the unit, which is going to be amazing. So
this is concerning to me, just for the record. Specifically once they picked up parry, now that they can kind of walk through stuff and then just like switch their prey to your caster and murder your caster, I'll be keeping an eye on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is going to be a big unit change, and it gives an example of what we're trying to do with them. We're trying to make them, again, like the slippery skirmishing unit that you have to take care of them, because if they get too far in your line, they're just going to walk through everybody and then murder whatever they want.
Yeah, and this is to also further separate the female Tharn from the male Tharn. The male Tharn are beefy and difficult to kill, and the female Tharn are sneakier, and they're the stealthy.
They're very agile.
Yeah, they're the agile side. And
Also still kind of beefy.
sure.
Oh, I couldn't beat one up.
Sure, but it also makes them, with this change to Nuala, it really
Like, if I punched Nawala in the face, she'd rip my heart out.
it really accentuates
I'd probably never land the punch.
how they're the ultimate hunters. How they can be like, well, that thing ran way over there and it's hiding in the corner, so we're going to change our prey to those things. But we will be paying attention to it, like Pagani says, because maybe it blows up the entire world.
Yeah. So speaking of female Tharn, why don't you go through these Wolf Rider, man?
Wolf Rider man?
Wolf Riders, man.
Comma.
So Wolf Riders are something that I've always loved, and I've never been super happy with how the rules turned out. And Jason and I sat down, and we were kind of like, well, what do Wolf Riders want to do, and how are they going to be different than Blood Trackers? And what can we do to them to sort of give them a unique purpose in the army? And whereas Harnford just described Blood Trackers as this skirmishing unit, so they'll sort of play in the middle of the field, or they'll play slightly off to a side, we really wanted Wolf Riders to be a flanking unit. And in War Machine, flanking units in general are usually not very good because of how the tempo of the game works, but I think we did it with these. So
did
to talk
some.
about Wolf Riders, they're now cost $12.20, which people will notice is an increase
They went up a little bit, yeah.
in points. They lose Assault. They gain Backstab. They gain Dual Attack. And they gain Jump.
You know how you said you were worried about Nuala?
Yeah, I'm worried about these guys too. These guys are really sweet.
Jump and backstab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
the
backstab
dogs-
works on the dog. It works
dogs
on
learn how
the
to
stab, and it works on the thrown spear. So
Yeah.
they can get 3 attacks every turn because a dual attack they can throw it out of melee. Yeah.
And they're fast.
And they're real fast. They're speed 9.
And so
Lead
they can run
5.
up the side of the field and
Correct.
threaten with that backstab to force your opponent to
Yes,
divert
yes,
something.
exactly.
So they're doing their job
So-
even if they don't get to use their backstab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because your opponent will have to turn part of their army and go backwards.
Now, there's
essentially.
another piece of this puzzle that you should go over real fast, which is the new Wolf Rider champion, who also received some really important leadership changes that's going to help you deliver this unit even more reliably.
Yes. So it is getting leadership prowl for them and getting prowl itself. So they will be able to prowl with that.
So she costs 7. She has backstab. She has dual attack. And then lost quick work, lost vet leader, picked up prowl, picked up leadership prowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are paying attention, that vet leader moved over to the white mane from
Yeah.
her. So like it's not like it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Just a different model that has it.
Yeah. Because that was another part of our discussion of moving abilities around so that the entire army had all the abilities.
Yes.
But different chunks of the army were for different jobs.
So Side Realist on Twitch says, when are the PDFs going live? The CID is planned.
So should be next week.
Putting the word planned in all bold to go live next Wednesday.
Yes.
I mean, you guys just planning on burning down the building while I'm gone?
Dude, you never
Hey,
know what happens.
What are you doing?
The sun is red and the moon is orange.
Sometimes you say the Paladin of the Order of the Wall is basically perfect, and we don't speak in absolutes.
To be fair, it was
was.
pretty good.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll stand by that one.
I'll stand by you.
I
on
like
that
where he
one.
ended up too, so I'm not sad. But yeah, I also want to mention the theme force.
And
We
Lord of
ended
the
up. Oh yeah, Lord of the Feast. So Lord of the Feast.
We
is-
talked about Lord of the
We
Feast.
talked about Lord of the Feast at Lock and
At
Load.
Lock and
That is not going to make it.
So tell them for people that weren't there what was discussed.
So Lord of the Feast gained a whole bunch of stuff. I don't have it written down right in front of me right here. Here we go. Nope.
One more page.
One more.
There you go.
Yep. Okay. So currently, what he's at: cost 7, arm 16, death powered, which is +1 strength and arm for every corpse on you. Wyrmblade gains grievous wounds, cut thresher. Those are the changes that are going to happen. Now, what happened at Lock and Load is we tested Berserk and Overtake on him.
It was serious.
That was not okay.
It was
I think I had a game where I was playing Morvana 2 with him, and I killed 2 full units of Steelheads, a full unit of Steelhead Cavalry, Alexia, Orin, and then Jason's Caster
Yeah.
in one activation. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, because it's just
so we're not going to do that.
you create a line of
Yeah.
little-
Because he's just too hard to stop
Targets
with
and-
the bird. Like,
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. But those are the changes for Lord of the Feast currently. Sorry, guys.
For everybody asking on Twitch right now, it does look like the Facebook has cut out, and right now we're getting to watch Oz and Schick play Monpok, which is kind of cool.
From yesterday?
But but I think Twitch is still going. So
How does that even work?
what-
What is?
yeah, Twitch
art?
is still going, so we're good.
super weird. Okay.
Okay. Who knows?
Highlights from my game yesterday.
Who knows? But I also want to talk a little bit about the theme force. So you can add 1 Tharn command attachment or solo, which includes the Wolf Rider champion as a free thing.
Yep.
And then we're replacing the
Third benefit.
third benefit, which I don't actually remember what it used to be, but it is now 1 Bloodweaver unit gains ambush. Yep. We were thinking about stuff and we were like, man, what do we want? Like, Tharn should really have ambush because this is what they do, right? Like,
Yeah.
they run around in the forest, they ambush stuff. And we started thinking about what we could give ambush, and Wolf Riders were definitely not an option. Blood Trackers were obviously not an option. Blood Packer not an option. Ravagers were a bit heavy for an option. So we ended up at Bloodweavers, which I think gives them a nice little spot in lists that they can contest and
Yeah.
things like that. So.
And it puts extra pressure on your
Yeah,
opponent's
absolutely.
back line with the wolves maybe coming up one side and the
Yep.
one unit of Blood Reavers sitting there,
Yep.
being able to pop out on either side of the field.
And Tharn are not really an army that you want to group up against. There's a lot of things that like Berserk and Overtake and stuff in this list. So being squished in the middle is not really something you want to have happen if you're facing this army. So
Yep. All right, so that's everything we're covering for today. Obviously, there's a ton more. You see how many papers we have in front of us. Next Wednesday, you'll get your look at all the PDFs and everything. We've got a little bit of time, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at chat, see if anybody has any questions we want to answer. Yeah.
it replaces the snacking benefit, not the corpse benefit.
Oh yeah, no, you keep the corpse benefit in the Tharn.
Yeah,
I think
we're definitely keeping that one.
So Swamp Mist 1142 says no Thunder Chicken spoilers. I think he's asking about the Storm Raptor.
I gave you one. It came deceptively
They don't.
mobile.
Not everybody went to the meeting.
I just said
It
it
co-
today.
It was
Okay, it costs 30.
possibly with someone joining late.
We're not gonna go through the whole thing for people asking, but we'll tell you about that one because we know it's a really popular model, and a lot of people, I believe, just got it in their mystery boxes as well. So Let's go through that one. The Storm Raptor costs 37. He's now Mat 6. He gains Pathfinder. He gains Deceptively Mobile. And Skyfire changed to, I think, cost 1. That's what it was.
Cost 1 and 10 inches.
And
now,
10 inches, yeah.
If I remember correctly. Cheddar Caveman is spamming us. Are blood trackers still FA1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
They are. Will that change? Maybe. I don't know. I have a baby.
And for folks that are like asking about repeating what was said earlier, everything is still like completely solid as far as when this goes to Facebook later. So you guys will be able to review
Sure.
it.
So-
Also, you'll be able to watch it on Twitch.
There was a
later.
cutout during the video. So somebody's asking about
That was
the
during-
Lord of
that
the
was
Feast.
Facebook only.
The question is, does he still have death powered? Yes, he still has death powered.
Yeah.
He gets +1 strength and armor for every corpse token currently on it.
Yep.
Are the riders still weapon masters? Yes. We went through what they gained and what they lost.
Oh yeah,
So
they
all
did
the
not
riders
lose Weapon Masters. They are Weapon
Yeah.
Master and Backstab
with jump.
with jump.
That's just never going to make it.
Grumrelfist has a good question. He says the Supreme Guardian is a super cool model. Was it hard to decide between Battle Engine and Gargantuan?
No.
No.
No, because if
No.
you make it a Gargantuan, it breaks a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and also it fits more into that like warrior model kind of mode, and the battle engines are more on that side of things than the battle group side.
Souls,
of things.
not Fury.
Yeah.
R. Brown wants Pagani to stream while sleep deprived more often.
Nope.
No, we need him to get his sleep. We like our happy Gani, not our sleepy Gani.
Lord of the Feast, I don't believe is getting Berserk or Overtake. For whoever that is in chat.
How many inches tall is the Guardian for the actual model? Does anybody have an idea about
Well, Dallas
A
brought it
very
on.
inappropriate thing I could say, but I'm not going to.
Dallas brought it on Get Your Paint On. So if you go to Prep Your Press Prime on YouTube, there is a Get Your Paint On recently where Dallas just brings it on and shows it off. But it's probably
10?
9, 10 inches tall. I don't know.
I think from base to top of the flame is probably
the
10.
flame is pretty high. Yeah,
It's probably 10.
but I haven't like gotten that close and measured it.
When
So
will,
we're not going to go through all the changes that were made in the CID and all the what is
That's
and isn't
what-
changing.
that's
This
what
is
we're
why
doing
it's a
next
spoiler.
week.
Next week,
This
these
is-
guys will go through everything.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll like drag myself back up here for it. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe he'll randomly appear.
Order with Prime on Twitch says, when is the ret changes going live? Not until after the WTC. We're not making any other dynamic updates until the WTC is done mid-September.
Because they are, in fact, list locked.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I love chat reading face.
Striker 911. How many war beasts are getting visited? Many,
lot.
Many of the living ones. None of the not living ones.
I think I'm just going to kind of like stare over here now. Mm-hmm. It'll be just as effective.
JP Great One says, good job, Wills. Hey, good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh, I wanted to do a three.
Good job.
There we go.
Wow. Wow.
The Triforce of Development.
It's beautiful.
Power. Wisdom.
No.
I haven't seen anything from Sabra
Courage.
in a little bit, so I think maybe heads have exploded.
Yep, it's entirely possible. Great. What else we got?
I was counting the number of war beasts.
Is the Well of Ouroboros being tested in this CID
Yes.
or a later CID?
Now. I think. Pretty sure it's now.
The well is currently listed as part of the Tharn CID,
Yes.
but we have a week to go. So
Oz could be mean guy Oz.
that's
Whip it
not
right
mean.
out of there.
I'm not being mean.
I won't be here, so he can do whatever he wants.
Like we always say, production schedules affect things, and CID is far enough ahead of production schedules that things change. Much like the Supreme Guardian. Supreme Guardian was originally going to be part of the score and CID plans in the future, but the sculpting and the engineering and everything on it got done much quicker than expected, and other models got shifted around because of their complications in production, and we suddenly had a Supreme Guardian that we could give you guys. So that's why we're very, very hesitant to promise things until they actually become public and out there.
Correct.
Because everything could shift around last minute.
And we don't like making people angry. Grumblefist is a really good question for each of us. What is the thing we're each most excited about testing in the Tharn CID? I'll go first because I was looking at that question for a while. The new caster. New warlocks, new warcasters are always really exciting because they bring such a unique play style. You know, people become really attached to them. I mean, I know for a lot of us, that's what we started looking at War Machine and Hordes for, was these heroes and villains that we became like, you know, we sort of associated with. And so they're still such the centerpiece of the game that whenever we can release a new one, I always think it's super cool, and there's so many interactions with them. So I'm very excited about the new Warlock.
Mine is the Blood Pack, because last year for Attack X, so right around this time, I put together a Company of Iron Blood Pack list that was the Blood Pack and a Argus Moonhound, and it fits in 24 points. And if their points get reduced, like is the current playtest plan, then I will be able to fit another solo in there, like a Night Witch or a White Mane or something.
So
and
spoopy.
and I really like that Company of Iron Force is really fun with all the Tharn, they're big bow guys with their hunting dog. So I'm looking forward to see where they go, because they've always been one of my favorite units, but they've never quite been in the right spot. And this is going to give them a chance to turn into something really interesting.
I don't know what Pagani's answer is going to be, but there is only one correct answer, and that is the Wolf Riders.
No.
Yeah.
What's your answer, buddy?
Bridget and Call.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
super dope.
Yeah.
They got a big overhaul post lock and load. So I'm excited about them.
And their models are around, and they're really
They're
awesome looking.
Amazing.
For anybody that hasn't seen that is the Tharn twin character unit. It's a female Tharn with a bow and a male Tharn with a big axe. And they're buddies, and they fight together.
Striker 911 asked, did anything other things change from lock and load? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, things
A lot of
were
stuff have changed.
adjusted.
Make sure when the CID starts,
We
that
kind
you,
of went over the major ones.
yeah, when the CID starts, like read through the packet with fresh eyes. If you were at the lock and load hangouts and you everything they talked about there, like start fresh. Don't assume anything.
No more spoilers. Stop asking.
Yeah.
I'm on to you, Chad.
Especially about
On to
future
you.
CIDs. Like we hold off on details about that kind of stuff until we're closer. So,
Someone asked, they said, should I buy a second unit of Blood Pack? Always. Buy 5.
Well, actually,
Well-
never base your anything purchases on CID stuff, because it could
Oh,
change.
wait,
Yeah.
no, that's the right answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never buy anything based off CID because things change. Even if the FA changes on something in CID, still be careful. Like if somebody was asking earlier about trackers. Might they be FA, there's currently FA1, might that change? Say that trackers went up to FA3 midway through the CID cycle. That'd be crazy. Don't go out and buy 2 new units of trackers. Wait a second until
Yeah.
you see the dynamic update and know, because if we decide it's too much and it goes back to 1, and then you're like, I bought extra units, what am I going to do with them? And we're like, that was just testing. That's not real until it's real. So, word of advice, word of caution.
yeah. Yeah. Because here's the other thing about CIDs. We end the CID process publicly with you guys, and then we test and discuss things for another week or 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer.
Sometimes longer. And we usually have a couple of games and talk about the things that we weren't quite finished with, and then we change things. So even if you say, well, the CID ended and this thing is FA12, so I'm going to go out and buy a bunch of it, it might not end up being that way when it finally gets published.
And then you just have a bunch of dope models to paint.
Yes, because models are always good as models, but don't buy things way above the FA and expect them to be playable after CID closes if something was possibly crazy.
Okay.
Especially if we're mentioning things about those being iffy and not something that we're completely convinced on. That's the things that you can kind of see at the end of a CID cycle, what we are still like asking questions about in the dev chats or whatever.
Cool. Well, I think, you see any other questions you wanted to hit up?
Sure. Do we want to talk about the WTC list spread that everyone's spamming in there right now? So a lot of people online are freaking out right now because Crix has 62 players, I think. And then Signar, I think, is next behind it at 30, mid-30s. This actually isn't a huge change from last year. There were 52, I want to say, last year, and it's like 62 this year. So they actually only gained 10 players. To me, by far the more exciting number, I guess, or interesting number is the fact that Signar dropped 20 players. So it went from 50-ish to 30-ish. So that is far more concerning to me than Crix being at 60-something, honestly. And there's 239 Slayers submitted in lists, which is kind of a weird number because who cares the actual number of models? It's the lists that matter. But we'll see how they do. And that's far more important to me than what people submit.
And
Like,
you went to the WTC last year, right?
no, I did not.
No. Okay.
No.
I was looking at, honestly, I always start at the bottom of the list. Everybody talks about the top, but I started at the bottom and I compared to the bottom and see how many
Yeah.
minions players were with minions number went up. And first thing I looked at, honestly, when I saw the spread come out was how many Crucible Guard players are there.
3?
And there's like 3. But I was,
Yeah.
I was
Well,
the
they have 2 casters and half
Yeah.
the factions released.
obviously there's reason there's a release schedule, and that was what, it was the first thing that caught my attention is with the models available, how many people are rocking Crucible Guard at WTC.
Yeah.
So, but no, we are not freaked out whatsoever by the
Yeah,
information.
and I mean,
and we're just seeing who wins and how the games go.
Yeah.
Whoever
that's,
has a
that's
good time.
far more exciting to me than what lists get submitted.
Yeah.
So,
Because results are what really matters. Because it's just like a regular game. You can come into it and say, this is a hard matchup for me, I'm probably going to lose. But if you don't come in with that mindset, sometimes things happen that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because anybody can beat
Yeah,
anybody. Because
And I mean, there could just be
the
like
thing.
a great Illuminati conspiracy or something, and everyone plays Trolls one year. Like,
Yeah. For all we knew, like everybody
are
shows
you
up with like
setting up a weird Illuminati conspiracy where everyone plays trolls one year?
It wasn't.
100%
Maybe I am
of
now.
WTC is troll lists?
Yeah, what would that do? That'd be crazy.
oh, you have to get weirder. It's gonna be like Vlad 3 Cossite spam, and you're just like, what
Every
is-
single
what,
one.
And I
how?
mean,
Every single player.
also, if you look at the spread based from last year to this year, the non like super high and super low attendance factions bulked out. So like those
Yeah.
20 Signar players that jumped from Signar all switched to different factions. Basically,
Yeah.
is what happened, right?
Yeah.
So I actually think that's a good sign. I think that's a great thing. So
Yep. Cool. Let's see. I think we hit most of the big questions. A lot of people have
Yeah.
been asking for more spoilers, but hey, we can't get into any more spoilers. That will be next week. Oz and I and maybe Gani, but maybe Gani got baby Gani.
so go bring the baby.
Bring Asher able to sit him on the table.
He'll probably sleep the whole time because he only sleeps during the day.
Yeah.
Because he hates me.
But next week will be the full CID
birthed a vampire?
deep dive. You birthed a vampire?
No, I don't think so.
So, all right. Well, we're going to get out of here, everybody. So, quick reminders before we go. Don't forget, join us 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, for In Order, Weekly Rumble, Dev Chat, and Get Your Paint On, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, tomorrow, Get Your Paint On with Dallas. I'm not sure what he'll be painting, but I'm sure it'll be awesome. So, make
Haven't
sure you
heard.
join. And then in terms of ordering cool miniatures, 2 things I want to remind you about. Store.privateerpress.com. The Supreme Guardian is available for pre-order on Bahi.
Oh, Chad, I love you.
What did chat say?
Is pooping on stream a violation of Twitch terms of service? Probably.
Probably. That has to be,
Probably.
right?
Probably.
I don't know if it counts if it's a baby and they're wearing their diaper and stuff.
I don't know.
I don't know if that counts.
Dude, it would be
Oh,
amazing.
now I
to-
just
Sometimes
wanna-
diapers fail.
Now I just want to deep
Someone
dive
say.
onto what your baby's poop face looks like.
Oh, it's great. It's
God. Can we need to do a whole dev chat where Asher is just sat right here.
Uh-huh.
Just chilling on the end. Hey,
Okay.
store.privateerpress.com,
Yeah.
Supreme Guardian. Pre-order it. The card's up. And
Yep.
maybe you'll have a baby too. I don't know. You never
Has
know.
nothing to
Supreme
do with
Guardians are
Supreme
like,
Guardian.
you don't know.
Guardian.
Supreme Guardian
That's
came out.
not
You
how
and Getz
that
had a
works.
child. Is the Supreme Guardian the stork of Privateer Press? I don't know. We'll find out.
doesn't even have wings.
Also, mini crate,
Weird.
mini-crate.com. The news cycle just started. If you order by September 19th, you get Lady Rose.
Yep.
And if
Red
you do,
Riding Hood Rose.
Yeah, Red Riding Hood Rose. If you do the 6-month subscription box, you get the super awesome Alexia Handmaiden of Death. Like probably the best looking sculpt we've done in a very long time.
And we had some questions on Facebook, John. You can subscribe for the 6-month thing after the first month and still get
Absolutely.
Alexia.
Yeah, it's if
Yes.
you subscribe
So-
in that
So
6 month period.
anytime in that window,
Yeah.
if you subscribe or your subscription automatically renews, once that payment processes, your next delivery will contain that VIP model.
Yeah. So don't worry if you don't have the money right now to jump in this first month. That Alexia is available during this entire cycle.
Through basically, I think February 19th would be the last day.
It's 6 months at a time.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it was
But-
your next shipment. You got the VIP model. That's super cool.
Yeah. It's basically as soon as the payment or renewal processes for your VIP subscription, your next delivery will contain it.
Cool.
Unless
right.
it's like within like a day or something that hasn't been
Yeah.
processed.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
I think that's it.
I think we're done. We're gonna go
Bye
now.
for
We'll see you
everyone.
all
So
later.
shorter this week, but longer next week. We'll go through all of the Tharn CID stuff.
We might have Asher. If
We might have a
if we
baby.
have Asher and no Pagani next week, call the police. That's literally kidnapping.
Okay.
The stream I'm really looking
Bye,
forward
everybody.
to is when we get
I'm ready-
on a
I'm
weekly
ready to go to
Rumble,
jail.
You and Getz play a game with Baby Bjorns on, and the kids are like touching stuff.
And you
when
gotta face them
you
towards
lean
you.
over. No, they face away from you.